So maybe we'll just start some columns of producing science, like mass producing science. But if we do that, how do we want to go about... Let's take some of these out first. Well, let's go underground. And pull these up. You know what? Not all of them are blue, but I'll use blue underground belts here. Actually just grab those like that. Build this across. Not worried about this iron. Alrighty. Good luck on your homework. Alright, so we're gonna get this on the other side of this wall. And honestly, the wall won't even have to be here much longer. This was a remnant from a more dangerous time. Pull the bus up. In fact, we'll just paste, roll that back. There we go. So is it not a common practice to have blue on two belts? I guess I don't really see that very often, but I also don't watch a ton of other streamers. I've watched Poober, I've watched really just a couple others, because I didn't want to... It's not really spoiling for Factorio, is it? But it's kind of in its own way a puzzle game, to me at least, to figure out the right way to, you know, build a column to produce a particular material. One belt is heaps. We may not need, I mean, you know, it's just more throughput, I guess. But it's also taking up a lot of a lot of space. I mean, particularly all of this completely filled up with blue circuits is already quite valuable. I think we want to go up and then off to the right over here where we have some more space. Let's clear this out. And we can use the deconstruction tool out here. I'm not too worried about it. We're not gonna override anything. I usually steer clear of the like flat out completely deconstruction, like deconstruct everything, and I made one just for trees. That way I don't get rid of like power lines that I've placed across the landscape. But yeah, since there are a few people in, one yellow belt of blue chips is heaps. That's true. I've got two red. At least they're still red. They haven't been upgraded to blue. So I've got a few people on. I'll just kind of talk about myself a little bit, just to introduce myself. My name's Josh. I stream twice a week. Going for variety streaming, though things like Factorio, simulation games, strategy games, those are kind of the games that I enjoy the most, but I have been playing a little bit of action. Like Wednesday we were playing Resident Evil 2. We just finished that one up. So I do like a good narrative action game as well. For instance, when Last of Us 2 comes out, I'm definitely going to stream that one. But yeah, so I do a bit of variety streaming. Factorio, this is probably... How many hours are we on? Let's save here and see. 55 hours for this playthrough, so this is probably like our 11th or 12th stream for Factorio. We did a bit of Oxygen Not Included, had a long City Skyline playthrough, Cities Skylines playthrough, and everything that I do also leave the VODs up as highlights, and I also put them on YouTube for consumption there. They are quite long, like sometimes I'll have a half hour to 2 hour long video, but I'll upload it just for posterity in case anyone wants to go back and watch previous episodes. But I do look at expanding a little bit more. It's great to have people to talk to, you know? I've just always called them chips, but they're circuits, right? Yeah. I don't know why I call them chips. Because, I mean, that would be confusing compared to the modules. If you think about it, the circuits And the modules are also chips. It's kind of like when you ever have like a word that you've only ever read and then you mispronounce it because you've only ever really said it in your head. It's kind of like that, like playing through the game, I just kind of talking to myself would call them chips for the longest time. So I wonder if what we want to do then is just like have a column that makes as many red science as possible. Just start with that and then just go science for science. Heard someone call them boards the other day, green boards, red boards, blue boards. I guess, yeah, if you're imagining them as being larger, because they are pretty big. If you think about it, like it's as big as your foot. It's bigger than your foot, one of these on the ground. But then again, so is everything. Everything's like 1 foot by 1 foot square. And if you had like a circuit this big, I mean, I guess that would be like a motherboard. Like these are straight up motherboards. Straight out of the factory. What do you guys recommend as far as post-rocket gameplay? Because we finished building the rocket about 2 streams ago. We've optimized a lot of stuff last stream. Boober says, I'd recommend deciding how much science per minute you want to do first. Then you can calculate everything else out nicely. So let's take a look at our actual production. That's electricity. Isn't there a way to see... You know, I haven't even thought about it in forever. There it is. Per minute. What are we doing with red science? 30 per minute. You know what? I bet we're producing about as fast as we're using for a lot of these. It looks like most of them are floating around the high 20s to 30 per minute. 24 for yellow. White's not even on here because we don't launch that often. Let's see. I guess white doesn't even show up as being produced. Oh no, it does. There it is. 16.6 per minute for white. Your production rate might not be accurate because it's stalled since you're not going through it quick enough. Your consumption rate is 30 per minute though, so you've got to think you're hopefully making more than you're consuming. Let's also plan to consume more, I guess. We'll make some labs. Maybe we'll do the labs on this side because that's just our old base over there. So it doesn't have to like all come back over here or anything. We could just have this be the old science, the old rainbow road of science that we had coming from various places in our base. So maybe we do labs over here. So right now we've got the bus coming up. Ooh, we've got a lot of room over here too. We're gonna need that for stuff more sophisticated than red. Let's see, we'll come up over this copper, use this area right here to start making red. Let's say maybe we put the labs here, just where it opens up a little bit, and then we kind of leave these ore deposits here in case we need to pull from them later. We're still pulling from some of the old ore deposits, and we're picking up from afar, so we don't have anything to really worry about there right now. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so the area that I was talking about where it opens up, that is just up above where our roboports cut over to the right. Man, it's actually like twice as big as what I was imagining in my head. But we'll use it. We'll make it big. We'll go for broke. Cut out some of this. Actually, let's cut out this cliff here too. So if we want to put our labs in this area, let's just kind of aim for this area here. Let me make one in my pocket. Pretty sure we have them being mass produced somewhere. Hey, thanks for the cheer.
I just now realized you have a can of your cat. That is worth some more biddies.
Thank you. Yep, Mr. Miyagi. Hey, buddy. Say hi. Aw, he's tired. He's a sweet cat. He is 16 years old. He has one eye. He's had one eye for over 10 years. And he's the sweetest guy. He has bad depth perception as a result, but he won't hop up on your furniture, really. Maybe the couch, but he doesn't get up on the counter. Maybe via the couch, depending. So yeah, so what I was thinking was, we made one lab in our pocket. Just kind of want to think this out. Let's go big right here. And let's make a... Let's like make a big column of these. And maybe we even go like 2 deep if we need to. But then we'll load them from one side. Probably should have put the arms on when I did that. Probably should have used the inserters. See if we drag, it's gonna... Yep. We'll just pop in a couple and then we'll copy paste. Copy pasta. And let's take out trees here. But yeah, I've recently ordered some new art to use on the channel, and I've seen the prelims for it, and it looks really awesome. And there's just a really awesome art of Mr. Miyagi as well, so I think that's in the coloring stage right now. That'll get us an emote as well. Copy this, paste that. So yeah, we might just do more and more of these. I guess we would eventually run into throughput on like getting these loaded into the labs, right? Like this probably isn't the most efficient way to go about that now. Should I just do... I guess I should do requester chests maybe. And have the robots bring them? I don't know. 3 to 5 deep max. Off of like a row of what if we did like a science train? What if speed wasn't necessarily what we did, but we use this train track to like go and pick up science and then deliver science to the labs? Yeah, let's take these back. Let's see. I'm gonna go a little bit more than recommended. I'm gonna go like 10 deep, right? You know what, let's also... Just because the storage array that I set up quite a while ago is all the way back at the main base. Let's get some out here so they have a closer place that they can drop off. Anyway, let's get to producing red first. If we were to take out... I seriously do not have flamethrower fuel on my person, and it would be quite a jog to go get some. We did, however, make a way to dispose of the wood. And I'm not playing with a mod where we can convert the wood into coal or anything, I don't think. So The wood right now is being carried over to a place that will just burn it. Alright, so going back through, since it's been forever, since it's been early game, red science requires copper and iron gear wheels at a rate, and I almost never do the math for rates, but let's see. 1 copper plate, 1 iron gear wheel. The iron gear wheels take 0.5 seconds, and 2 iron plates. This is where my brain starts melting at like as it starts getting later and later. We'll pull off copper and iron. We'll do it, yeah, we'll do it right here above. Let's set a marker for ourselves. I don't necessarily want to use a wall, but it's just to remind ourselves to stay above that, to come in up above this copper here. I don't have some grand plan in my head, so I'm just going to wing this as we go. If I do something stupid, set me on the right path, chat. We're going to pull copper off. We're going to pull iron off. Oh, calculator. I like it. I like that there's a visualizer. I would probably want to take some time to study exactly how to read this well in between streams. Because I also had Hellmod for a while, which kind of does something similar, but I almost never use it. I like this though. So we can like set this to red science. Nice, okay, I will save that. I'll bookmark that. And I will study it so that hopefully we can use it for the other sciences, because I don't think we'll finish this whole thing tonight. Let's just pull off of iron here. Oh, yeah, we came all the way under for that. There we go. So for the iron, just stick to using blue. We want to make iron gear wheels, and it's almost never, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's never a good idea to place the iron gear wheels on a belt, really, right? Like you want to, usually you want to have them just automatically passing them over to the assembly machine. We're also not, I don't think that we're mass producing assembly machines 3 yet. Let me double check on that too. That's not too far away. Gears on the belt, great idea. 1 gear equals 2 iron, it's compression. Oh yeah, I didn't really think about that. Gears are okay to put on a belt since they take 2 plates to make. You know, I didn't really think about the math that way. I was thinking more along the lines of the time spent using an inserter to place them on the belt and then pull them back off of the belt when the inserter could just place them into the assembly machine. But you'd have to get the math exactly right for timing for that, right? And I guess once you start getting more than like 2 or 3 ingredients, you start ending up having to cram things in like this. That makes sense. So our assembly machine 2s are being made here. Here's 3s. Oh, but they're not being placed into a... What's going on here? What are you doing? You're trying to place it onto this belt. This belt has... I think it was copy-pasted. There we go. Oh, you need to be provided with these. You're full, so you're just going to be working. I don't know if speed would be better here or if productivity would be better here. I think speed in this case. Could be wrong. I would do productivity with a speed. Well, you know what? We'll do that. Take those out. Productivity. Oh, you can't use productivity on those anyway. Haha, never mind. But we could still put in another beacon. We have some room over here. I haven't used beacons for much. What's in the way? The lamp? And me? Just speed everything up, man. And you, why not? Oh, we can't use productivity on that either. How many do you take? You require 4 speed modules. Well, Godspeed. Do I have 17 in my inventory, so let's hope that it keeps up. I mean, it'll eventually start stacking, and then, I mean, we'll probably never need more than like 3 stacks, but I'll let it go to 5. Why did I not? So I have Squeak Through. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this, but Squeak Through just stopped working on this particular file, on this save game. And I got so used to using Squeak Through, but now I just can't run between pipes or anything anymore. So weird. And I'm not using a ton of other mods. Like, I'm not, I think the only thing I started using since then was the Disco Science, or the Disco Labs, to make them glow the color of the science that they're using, but that was after Squeak Through stopped working, so no idea. Back over here. Let's look at just straight up killing it on iron gear wheels then. Maybe we'll do stack inserters, see how fast this can go. Again, feel free to tell me if anything is ridiculous overkill. We'll put one on this side. That. Get it actually connected to something, that would probably help. I'll line that up a little bit better. There we go. It's been so long. I don't think we messed with manufacturing anything in the last 2 streams. Well, the last stream, maybe. Let's say, okay, if we bring this over, we may want to move the copper up. It's never going to need to stack, right? These don't need to be stack inserters. Okay. So we can, well, let's plan something that we can just keep extending downward if we need to. Too late to really say anything, but often the bus belts are grouped into 4 so you can use less undergrounds when taking things off of it. So when you say grouped into 4, like I have the 4, I have these in rows of 4. Do you mean like grouped into 4 items and then like a big split? I mean, I've been going with something like this and just leaving 2 squares gap in between each material. Oh, I see what you mean. Grouped into 4, like, yeah. So now that, yeah, since I have red or blue undergrounds, I could put these closer together. That would make sense. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, we can maybe squeeze them. Like going up from here, maybe we'll squeeze them together. I think originally I had them spread out for yellow belts underground, and then I just kind of left them this way and continued them by copy pasting. So yeah, so red science needs the copper plates. Let's, instead of having it off down here, I know I just put this in, let's back it up. And let's thin this up a bit. Let's have these. I'm going to move them down just a little bit. This isn't the best way to do this, I'm sure, but if we overproduce, let's actually come down some. If we overproduce, maybe we can keep this saturated maybe. No. I want you to be red science. And we could also get copper onto this line since they're only being added to one side, but that would shrink the throughput. What are we doing here? On copy. Take them back out. Paste them one higher. I do think that I want... They only need one gear wheel per craft, so let's use the red long-handed inserter. Pooper would smack you for going against aesthetics. I do like, I guess, my own brand of aesthetics. Like, we have some stuff up here that I'm really kind of proud of. Like, oh, I guess we could use a radar up there. Let's see. Some stuff like this. Like, I like to bring everything in and just kind of have it flow in and out rather symmetrically, unless we have to bring it out further. But I kind of like the looks of some stuff. Not this. This is spaghetti. This is terrible. This was our very first part of our base. Yeah, we've got resources for the undergrounds. But yeah, anyway. Back to this. Let's see. Let's bring in copper here. Yeah. So we'll pull copper off here. Extend our substations on the bottom and then also maybe do some up here. So I'm thinking just temporarily, I'm thinking let's put these into a, well, let's put them into a provider chest. So the robots will come and get them, but I want to do an experiment. We're out. We've been standing outside of our RoboPort zone. If we extend this down, this isn't the best place for symmetry for the RoboPort. I'm gonna have to like move them up, have them come across up here. They're just going to come and take these away. That would be an infinite loop for them, though, so I don't want to leave that there. Thanks for bringing me stuff now that I'm within your zone. Let's put one up here. Like here-ish. Yeah, I guess you will need power. There we go. So 4 of these is actually good enough for lots of these to run. So the way I usually math it is I usually just keep going until there are too many. Let's see, let's copy Yeah, there we go. I kind of want to see how far this can go until we're not producing enough iron gear wheels, and then we could expand that too. The max rate calculator mod. What does that one do? I mean, by its name, I guess I can imagine. Does that kind of tell you what you would be making if you could be, like, consistently producing? Like right now, if we look, 175. Hasn't been a whole 10 minutes since we started this, but I just kind of want to see that probably ticking up. Oh. Oh, that's what's being used. No. That's production. This is what's being used. So right now they're still taking them to the old labs, but I mean, they're still kind of keeping up. Another RoboPort in here. Ah, the power line's in the way. Let's guess we'll move it a little closer. One, two. Mod in reverse lets you drag over an area and do the math for you. Oh, that sounds really cool. Drag it over the assemblers and it shows in-out numbers. I like the sounds of that. Max rate calculator. One sec. I'm going to make a note of that and grab that in between streams. We'll try it out next time. Anything that's aesthetic or math related, because I'm keeping this relatively vanilla. I'm just using the quality of life improvements like long reach and try to use squeak through till it stopped working. Max rate calculator. I'm going to research that in between and probably pop that on and we'll try it out next time. Yeah, let's see what this kind of looks like now. Is this ticking up, like, would this be more accurate? I would think that the 10-minute one wouldn't be accurate until it's actually been going for 10 minutes. 1.1K. I mean, cool if it is. Clean some of this up. Though I like the aesthetics of the cliffs. I remember playing back before cliffs were a thing. If we do the labs up here, I'm gonna do a requester chest for right now. We'll have like maybe a more efficient means of getting these up here later. Just block off some of these. That's fine for now. And maybe we can do a copy paste from the chest that I have over here. You just request all the things. So we could turn off the other one. It'll still go with the science being brought to it from other places. Oh, we can't long reach to it. We can copy it, but we can't click on it from the map. Let's run over there really quick. Alrighty. Yeah, let's clear these out. Oh, he got up. He's in his scratching post. Alright, so heading back over here. All our surplus science will be brought up here. And again, we'll probably come up with a more efficient way than keeping all of our robots busy all the time. Oh, you need to have everything anyway. You're not going to work at all until you have one of each to burn. That's fine. You're getting white. We could have excess of the others put into a chest. Yeah, let's do that too. Here's what I'm thinking. Let's go over to our Rainbow Road. We were just there. Sorry for the back and forth. Squeeze through our new gun wall. Steel production's looking nice. Okay, so right here, let's do a little shenanigans here. Let's say you go underground, you come out right here. Wait, no. And these are just red belts. You come out there, you come out there, you come out there. Oh, you were powered down here. You can get that. All right, so primarily output onto the usual rainbow belt. But what you don't use, come up one, come over one. I'm gonna say we put into a provider chest, like so. One sec. I forgot, can you declare what you want to be in there? You can't, can you? Because I don't want it always picking up the same kind of item. Oh, you know what we can do? We can do two. Yeah, I'll just do that. A little ugly, but it should work. Like a filter, no? Yeah. We'll just use a filter inserter. Like that. You guys are just... I'm starting to hate the look of the old power poles. Does that reach? Yeah, it does. Alright, so you're whitelisted to blue. Now let's get a cap on this. You're whitelisted to purple. This is red and green. What am I doing? There we go. You're green. Manually place the item in that you want to be. Yeah, but I think they're going to carry them all off. Unless there's a way to like... I mean, I know that you can put the cap like up against it like that, but I don't think it'll keep filling up, right? And then we have yellow and gray. White's just going to be on its own, but once white is available, I think I'm going to tell this that it can grab some white, so these labs can keep working too. Just, you know, keep like 500. The rest can go to the other one. This is just going to be a constant stream of these. I do like the music going along with this, though. It's kind of majestic. All right, so you still haven't started getting... Oh, we didn't. Let's see, what would this be? 5 slots. These all stack to 200 except for white. So we should have enough slots for everything. I think. We just leave that open. Some of these are getting yellow. We'll probably do something different though once we have more production of all the different types. They've given up on this one. They're all pulling from the other one. And we could make this active provider, but I usually stay away from those. I like the idea of doing a science train, but I don't want to like set up the train right now. I kind of want to keep working on like getting green going. We probably have enough room for green right here. I'm going to leave a lot of space between them because we may want to... They want to produce them somewhere. So maybe if we do a science train, here's the track. We'd have it cross over the bus right here. Gonna connect up here. Let's do that. What is this song? Science buildings look like rave domes in Burning Man. They do. Oh, a little too high. Let's come down just a little bit. Song sounds like a Furby forest. There we go. So we could have something stop off here and pick up red, maybe green will fit in this area. And just load up onto a particular car. Maybe we have a car for each color. But then that makes me want to like put the labs at the end of the road. So maybe we'll move the labs up for that. I do love the idea of the science train though. Let's see here. Like I could make another column of this. Like we can just keep expanding it up. So let's leave this area here for more red. And let's clear this out for green. Do we want the... Oh, we're good on stone for a while. We have more stone up here. So I don't really have to necessarily leave this stone patch accessible. I'll turn off the cat cam. Free up some screen real estate while he's away. Landfill in a bit of these lakes here. In fact, maybe we'll square this off a little bit. Maybe bring it over to there. That is if we don't use up all of our landfill like I just did. Oh, that's a little too high. I don't love the idea of like putting these way too close together, but let's make sure we're covered with roboports over here. That one in. Yay, we can reach. Alright, I'm thinking this area for green. Green required the transporter belts and the inserters. We're giving ourselves even less space though. You know what, let's take the train straight right here instead. You'll also find that I second guess myself a lot, but don't we all? These aren't even really necessary to have the guns next to these anymore, but... Yeah, you know what? Let's just keep going straight with this. Till I run out. Is it playing the same song again? Oh no, we're just still in the middle of it. Bubble Walk is the name of it. By Aaron Lieberman. Really wish they would make it so you can upgrade the range of RoboPorts. That would be excellent. Or just have like an upgraded like RoboPort 2 or something like that. There's got to be a mod for that. I mean, considering Bob's has like so many other minerals and stuff like that. That's another one that I've considered and I've been told is a handful, but might try to do a playthrough with Bob's at some point. Just deconstruction planer this. Good chunk of it. Just all the way up through there. What have you been using this for so far? You know, this tells me that some poor robot went and picked one of these up because I used a deconstruction planer on a cliff and it got all the way over here to the new continent and I tossed one manually and it just got here, realized it didn't have a job to do, and then it deposited it in this storage chest. What is your purpose? What is my purpose? To pass the butter. Oh. Yeah, like a Mark II. There's other ones, right? And then there's even I always do that. I always left click. There's the personal RoboPort Mark II. Now all the robots are going to try to bring me stuff because I dropped it on the ground. Late game, end up with so many all over the place. I just do these little clusters of storage boxes, let them collect it. All right, let's go ahead and plan for the belt to cross the tracks. Didn't really have to do a copy paste there, but that sucks. We're just gonna do this. Train track in the way. All right, we already talked about it. We want to use this area over here. So we need to bring it up to about where the tree line is. Let's move these. You're not aligned. You're like one square over. There you go. Ah, no. We got bumped. Been on for about 3 hours. We'll probably go for about another hour and 10 minutes or so. Maybe a little later, depending on how many people are still with us. roboports up here. Get the occasional redundant power pole in there. You never know. Alright, so construction for inserters and for transport belts. What part of the world? I am from Tennessee, United States. So I'm in Central Time, so for me it's almost 10 p.m. And unfortunately I do have a day job that I have to get up for on Monday morning, so even though I tend to stay up late on my Sunday streams, the time I schedule for myself is usually around 11 p.m. my time, but I've been known to go pretty late sometimes. So for the, you know what, let's look at our map. Let's go look at what we did for green science over here and see if we made it scalable. Where did we do green? Right here. You know what, that's not bad. Our power must be having a brownout right now. Yeah, our nuclear goes through waves. So I still need to do like a redundant second nuclear plant. Ask an American where they're from and they name the state. Why is that? Well, that's true. And I shouldn't necessarily be so single-minded about the place. But note that I did add on United States after I mentioned it, because I did think about that. But yeah, I mean, the United States is so big that almost like every state is almost like its own little country. So I'm thinking that we could maybe get away with copying what we've done here for green. We might want to add in a second layer of production for these items here. Maybe, I don't know, this kind of keeps up. So let's look at maybe copying this from here over. I'll need this down here too. Okay, let's copy this. The red science for right there, or is that just where I did red science? I guess it is. It's just red and green together. I'm going to remember to pull off the bottom part though. Yeah, let's take that green in the top, or it'll be the bottom once we rotate it. Okay. Yeah, each state does have its own unique culture too. Not that it should necessarily, you know, not that you should necessarily like be able to get away or expect everybody to memorize all the states of the United States either. That's not exactly fair too. So I understand both both sides of that. Yeah. You think about like, you know, it blows my mind sometimes to like take a whole country and then like overlay it on top of the United States to kind of get like an idea of scale. And some countries I'm like, oh, that's only about the size of Tennessee. Or even looking at like latitudes and longitudes to see like, you know, or like horizontally, which one is that? Is that latitude? To see which other countries kind of match up with the same part of the hemisphere, or not hemisphere, northern hemisphere, as where I'm currently at. And I'm like, oh, I always thought that it was a lot colder there. And it may be, they may be subject to different, you know, ocean streams. I don't know, I'm rambling now. Ocean wind streams. Let's pull this in here and then take out these. I had a pipe running through here for something else entirely. We'll take these out. Let's also just go ahead and keep everything blue on this side. Let's do... We could double up on production if we need to. This doesn't have to be... Well, this isn't being pulled in for this anyway. Let's just take this whole side out. Also, these power poles are kind of ugly. Then there's California, where you can drive for 12 hours and still be in California. Also true. I think the furthest that I've ever driven... See, I've driven to Chicago. And I've driven down to Orlando. I think Orlando might be the furthest that I've ever driven. And I've ridden to Fort Worth, Texas. And that might be a little further for how far I've ridden to. But I don't know, a certain distance, like Orlando really tested my tested my limits for what I'm able to make the drive. Okay, so this is definitely iron right here. But I've known people that just drive all up and down the East Coast. Like I've got a guy that I work with who drives to New York for the holidays every year, maybe a couple times a year. Texas is like that too. You really don't get how big the place is until you drive through it. Yeah, I can imagine. Like that trip to Fort Worth, that was when I was about 12, so I don't really remember a whole lot of it. I do remember crossing the Mississippi. That was interesting. Let's pull iron off here. Let's get some substations in here. Put that back in. So what are you doing if you're not pulling these in? Those are just blueprinted. Fast inserters it is. Doesn't have to be crammed like that. That can be... I prefer that to be... No, this way. Something we can still scale and move over. Drive from the Bay Area to Seattle on a regular basis, 900 miles, takes a good 12 to 16 hours. On a regular basis, whew, man, I think the drive to Orlando from here is like 10 hours. I'll go to Atlanta. I'll even still go to Chicago, even though that's like 8 or 9 hours, but let's see. Turn this around. I want them to come off this way. Bring them up and over. Still not sure how I'm going to do the train. Put one of these on the end. Yes, you need power. Interesting. Preferably in the fall to see the colorful forest. Yeah, and that is one thing I do really like about driving. You need the inserters. What's up with those? They're not being pulled out, right? Is that what I'm seeing? Or they need to be added. Oh, they should be being loaded there. You need green circuits, right? Yes. I love driving in the fall in Tennessee, or just in general in Tennessee. I like the hills and the curves of the road. Like, yeah, it can be dangerous if you're driving too fast, but don't drive too fast, and then you won't have that problem. But I really do like. I got used to driving in Tennessee, so when I made trips like the one to Chicago. When you're driving through states like Indiana, it's so flat. I do red. It almost gave me like motion sickness in reverse, like lack of motion sickness. Because I prefer to like have the feeling of like I'm moving and I could feel the car. And yeah. Let's do some speed on these. Power's still low. Let's go check on that really quick. Should be right over here. But yeah, the hills of Tennessee, super pretty in the fall as well. Lots of golden colors. Speaking of colors, oh, it'll be really neat to have all this running over on the other side. We'll get like an array of them.